Welcome back to Indian Trace. I've always got to change up the way I frame things, even the way I'm going to produce a video. Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. I have a pile here of points, of which 5 years ago when I contemplated collecting, and here's a war club that I found. Didn't find it in one piece, I found the head, that's for sure. As you've seen this before, many of you have seen it. Unbelievable piece of work by Hopewell, MJ. It's long, in the Plains Indian variety. But when I started to find points, I'm going to show you something with this war club today to kick things off in a different way. This video is also in honor of treasure hunter for life, Joseph. These are awesome points. I never thought I would even find Guilfords when I began collecting. I'd look at a buddy of mine's points, and he had some Guilfords. He hadn't even found close to this yet, but I looked at him and said, man, I don't think I'll ever find one of those. That was then, and this is now. But remember, treasure hunter for life. His name is Joseph. I think some 3 months ago or so, he had a catastrophic car accident. Busted, tore his body up, his back up. Supposedly paralyzed him. Let's look at this club. We're going to kick this off. And what I got a memo about from him last night was that there's a lot of suffering going on, as we all know here on YouTube. And this community, one thing about this community is that we do a good job at shattering superficiality. Things that are superficial that happen throughout many social media networks. On the community here for Indian Trace, as well as for YouTube, archaeologically, many of you that collect ancient Indian artifacts such as these, you look to find them or restore them, like Hopewell MJ, and he made this to work. I keep this, and this is durable. This is not just a model. It's reality. And you see superficial here? Well, if it's the community that we have here, and Joseph, this video is to lift you up in prayer and to let people know that you've been hurt, that you're working hard to recover. So stay strong. And what we're going to do on our community this year in 2018 is we're going to shatter what is superficial. We're just going to live real and support one another. And thanks to Mike at Hopewell MJ, maybe this will work out. We are going to shatter the superficial. Ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no doubt about it. So, let's go back in here. Stay with me. And let's take a look at these. Again, I will say this. Never thought I would even find one of these. So it was easy for me to grab a handful of my top Guilfords and just take a look at them. I had a request on top of that about Guilfords. So they're always coming in. As I've realized, these are extremely regional type of points. They whisper of Sedalia. They whisper of agate basins. But they're incredible points. Now let's talk about Joseph. Catastrophic car accident. Supposedly crippled him. He's worked his way out of that a little bit. Supposedly he was never supposed to walk again. Went through a walker, now with a cane. Surface hunter though, he's determined to be back out in the dirt. He needs help in every variety. Treasure hunter for life. Support him. Write him a memo. Think about the ways that you can support him. I'll support him in any way I can. He's in great need, not just physically, but financially. It's unbelievable. Watch his videos. Listen to his heart. His occupation and what he's contributed to society has been great. He needs to continue. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. We have good news also today. For, I know it's for sure that Dirty Water Jones, Mike, has come out of surgery and Incredible success has happened. Incredible successes have happened. 2 new kidneys, and he's feeling much better. But Joseph, don't get discouraged. The times will come. Your mind must continue to be bolstered and to be made stronger. It's going to be hard. Now, Joseph is in great pain. Many vertebrae, and I don't know all the technical terms, have been hurt, injured, shattered. He has been silent because he's been damaged, but he's going to recover. He has a family, he has great needs. So all of these things that I mentioned, whether it's shattering superficiality, whether it's being real, whether it's being able to go back in time and support the human beings that made these artifacts that you see. And these are some old ones. Look at this Guilford Yuma from the Cascade. None of what we do will submit itself to being superficial. The reality of life is that we decide we are going to open ourselves and have enough strength and courage to be real, if you will. And that might sound simple in word, but it's not simple for people. Not simple at all. Look at these points. Look at this Guilford Yuma. So in honor of you, Joseph, sorry about your accident. You never heard me say that. I wrote that last night, but it's tough. There's tragedy out there. I'm glad you lived through it. I'm glad you have an opportunity in life now to allow God to show you that He is faithful. Every one of us can attest to that. None of us need to take one day for granted or one drive around where we've gotten somewhere safely. It's an incredible Guilford Yuma from Saponi, isn't it? For granted. And I know out there, people that see this, you never know. You never know who will see it that can help in a way that they need to help you, Joseph. You never know. So just work the network. I'll do what I can do. A lot of people do what they can do. These points blow me away. Like I said, Joseph, these points here, and those out there who are watching, especially those who have requested Guilford stuff, have stolen my heart. You guys all know that. But at the same time, I tell you what, I really seriously, when I began collecting, I said, no way I'm ever going to find any of those. Guilfords come along, and they're going to come along still in my path, because around here, they were using them. This is they're all unbelievable G10 variety, top of the line. If I go on Overstreet ID, that sort of thing, I do see this illustrated, but the pictures that he has don't compare to these pieces. Have you ever noticed that? You guys find some awesome pieces. Mentioning Joseph, mentioning Treasure Hunter for Life, you have found some incredible, and you find, let's put it that way, you find awesome artifacts. Examples of which blow away the photographs they've been able to take for Overstreet. So many of you need to be encouraged. It's astounding what you find out there. So I'm going to put that up there and just keep moving up the line. Just crazy stuff. What else could I share? Yeah, go over to Dirty Water Jones, drop him a note, tell him you're happy that he's received a couple new kidneys, that his heart held up, that he's going to get back online and fire away at freedom. He's a veteran. He's a warrior. And here in this community, we will shatter. Remember the beginning of this video, we will shatter superficiality this year in 2018. If I can help lead it, I'll lead it. No problem. You guys know I do my part with that. Now, let me see here. How am I going to keep going with this? This is a point that I found at one of the very first Guilfords that I found. I said, my goodness, I'm finding Guilfords. I found it at the Archaic. This is an interesting point because I love the way I can see the change in flaking and variety as they hafted it right in here. You can tell right on the backside. Look at that. Great stuff right there. That's awesome. Because once they did, these things were devastating. Killers. Devastating. I'm throwing you around on this camera work, but I also want to make it hard. So if you guys out there want to help me move forward with it, with YouTube's archaeological community here. Some of you are pretty silent when you find awesome stuff. But it's true when it comes to responses. It's just the way it is. Richard's Rockhouse. Richard, you're silent. You're silent. Yeah, you make great videos. You do huge work for the artifact community. You find awesome stuff. So as I move forward here, I'd love to hear from you. I think a lot of people would. They make a ton of comments for you, but everybody has their reasons, whether it's time or whatever. But I'm going to tell you what. There's awesome things going on for this community. Look at this piece here. Love this piece. I found this at Clay Pot. I don't know if that focus is coming in. Bothering me because it's such an awesome piece. Hang on a second. That means I'm moving too fast. I get anxious for time, but I need not. The tip is stained like it was put in the fire. But I'm going to tell you what. Found this at the Clay Pot. Guilford Yuma. Found this Guilford Yuma at the Clay Pot. Unbelievable stuff. Now when I go out, more educated, I guess you could say, I am sure, inevitably, that Guilford Yuma will be, or a Guilford for that matter, will be in my path. Somewhere out there. And since I know it's regional, I'll share them and we'll get them online here and show everybody. Here's a piece from Saponi. It's a little different on the back because it was hafted in right where my thumb is. So none of that was needed except to hold it. The Guilford point. I mean, you're gonna if you watch Indian Trace, you're gonna become very familiar with the Guilfords. Here's an awesome piece right here. And I'm just moving forward in the style that Dirty Water Jones would first, I think, inspire me to do some of these videos. He did some. He'd take a bowl of points and just go through them and share his heart. That is breaking superficiality. So let's do that. Great point here from Crystal Beach. Most of these Guilfords, because it's not that they're rare. I mean, I got a ton of Guilfords. Blows my mind. Because I began hunting artifacts, I literally would say to myself, I don't know if I'm ever going to find those kind of points. I remember saying it. I was just like blown away. I'd see them at my buddies and I'd be like, I don't know. I don't think I am going to find those. Those are awesome. But they're here. And he said, oh, they're here. They're out there. And sure as you live, they were. Here's a piece from Saponi. There's another channel you might have passed by called Ancient Life. I'm going to start throwing up some of the best finds in the beginning of my hunting career that just were not highlighted, or only got 15 views or whatever. I'm going to recycle them. I'm going to find a way to get them up there so you can jump over there. That is to beat certain censorships. We won't get into that now. This video is to support Joseph. Treasure hunter for life. You need to gain strength, and we'll pray for you. You need to receive support in every way that we can. Somebody out there that can afford it financially. I mean, your family is worth it. Your kids, you got a good heart. I've seen you online. We would all love to do that. We cannot all do that, so we're going to do what we can. If I can, I'll publicize it. Somebody will see it. Somebody who's benevolent. Somebody in which money doesn't mean anything to them, meaning they have a bunch of it. I'd rather have them give it to you. I mean, I need money. We all have our debts and what have you. But listen, you've had a hard hit, and you could really use it. So anybody that hears this, investigate. Do your own research, your background. Listen to the heart of a human, and do what you can, because we're looking to break superficialities. So as I just play around with these here and chat with y'all, love the sound of it all. Look at that. Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. And all of this, just some top quality Guilford stuff. Let's shatter superficiality. Everybody can play their part. Hope you find out there.